Look at this, a new venue for you to watch me fishing at. I don't think I've seen many YouTube videos done under here of fishing before. The wind is blowing a really strong south-southwesterly. So I've decided to come and get out of the wind by fishing here on the River Orwell, which is an estuary that runs up to Ipswich. Just behind me is actually Ipswich itself. And this brilliant, beautiful structure in front of me is the Orwell Bridge. Now, we're in April. The bass have started running up this river. This river holds a lot of bass. It really does. This and the Estuary, which is just over there, two estuaries around here, they literally teem with bass in the summer. And I know for a fact there's a few about. Now, I've got a bucket load of peeler crab. So I've come down here with a really light rod. I'm using my Yuki beach ledger rod, a little rolling lead, and an earth with a 12-pound fluorocarbon snood coming off it to a size 2 with a bit of crab on it. And I'm hoping I might get a couple of bass on camera for you tonight. Who knows? It is now probably around about 7:30, nearly 8 o'clock. High tide is at 10:20. There's still, if you look in front of me, you'll see in a little while, there is still a little bit of tide to come up. But what I do is I fish this area between the bank and the stanchion of the bridge, and the bass run through here. You also get mullet running through here, but picking one of them up is really unlikely. And you also get flounders in here as well, but they are very, very rare too. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fish up over the top, probably up to 2 hours down. So probably looking around about 12:30 to see if I can pick up a bass or two. Stay with me. I'll go through the baits I'm using. I'll show you my earth rig and everything in a little while as well. And let's see if we can get a bass out of the River Orwell. Bit of estuary bassing. You can't go wrong. You really can't. So, as I was saying, got my hat on now because it is getting a little bit chilly. I'm down here on the River Orwell doing a little bit of estuary bass fishing. That bridge behind me is the Orwell Bridge. Basically, the A14 runs over it. It runs all the way from up north somewhere, ends up at Felixstowe Docks. But I'm going to quickly show you the rod I'm using, the reel I'm using, go through the lines, etc. as well. And yeah, hopefully there'll be a fish on the end soon. So, rod I'm using is, I'm using the Yuki Seiko beach ledgering rod. Super, super light. To that, I've paired it up with a Yuki AMG Evo reel. That's loaded with 8-pound line to a tapered shock leader. I think that's something like 18 to 50 pounds. 14.9 foot. And the tip on this is absolutely super sensitive. That's me. But look at that, eh? Any sort of little flappy dappy bite you get on that from any sort of fish, you'll be able to see it. And then hopefully, you know, I'll be able to get it in and show you some bass. Bait-wise tonight, peeler crab. Rig-wise tonight, I'm using an earth bar, like I say, to a very light snood, to a size 2 hook with little bits of crab on it. It's perfect for it here. You know, I'm using a rolling lead rivet as well. I'll show you that, like I say, a little bit later. The rolling lead in here is perfect because it's an estuary, and you're so far up the estuary, there's minimal tide movement. It's not massively moving tide. So that rolling lead will literally creep round slowly, finding any little holes and gullies. And the movement of the bait as well should attract a bass into smashing it. But like I say, what a night. What an absolutely beautiful night, and what a place to fish. You know, I haven't been down there for a long time. I don't think I've fished down there for about 5 or 6 years. But literally looking at the weather, I wanted to get out. I just thought to myself, this would be the best place to come. So, here we are. It might not produce. I've got a few hours to try and get something. Who knows? Who knows? It could well do the do. Time will tell. Well, that is the first cast done already. I've left it in there about 20-25 minutes. I had a couple of smackdowns on the rod, which of course got me really excited. Turns out it's a bat flying into the lines. I put my head torch on and followed him around, and he kept flying into them. So nothing yet. Like I say, it's still early though. Tide's got a bit of a way to come up. Once the tide's up a little bit more, I'm sure then bass will come through and on the feed. So anyway, I'm going to change the peeler crab over. keep fresh bait going in. Keep the fresh bait going in. And yeah, we will see if we can get a bass on the next cast. Voila, second cast. Slack line bite. I didn't get it on camera because that line slackened off. It literally snapped back and dropped to the floor. On light line, light tackle, spirited little scrap. What a beautiful little bass. Look at that, eh? Absolutely stunning. Right, looks like we could be in for a bit of sport tonight. I'm going to get this one back, get another bit of crab out, and let's see how many more we can get. Voila, bosh. Right, that was the third cast. No fish on that cast, unfortunately, so I brought it in, freshly baited up with some crab. Just going to show you how I'm fishing for these bass tonight. This is an earth bar, this area here. This is connected straight to my snood. That is then connected to a rolling lead, Takana rolling lead, and straight from that, if you can see, just here, you attach your snood straight to that. Now that is a swivel, and that is then coming off to 12-pound fluorocarbon, and on the end of that, I've got a little bit of crab with a size 2 hook. Don't want to go too big for them in here. They're not, you do get some big fish come through here, but there's a lot of schoolies as well. I'd like to hook up to everything I catch. You can catch big fish on small hooks, but you can't catch small fish on big hooks. So if you're fishing for a bite, size 2 is absolutely perfect. That's a size 2 Sea Glow match and scratch hook. Sharp as you like, really, really good hook. And that, like I say, is how I'm fishing. Earth bar is a fantastic method. It's just a metal bar. You can attach different snoods off the bar. You can have a single hook off it like I have here, which is perfect for a flow and trace for bass, etc. You can fish Portuguese rigs off it. You can fish like a little pennel setup off it as well. I love fishing for sole like this, but that will be another video in the summer. Anyway, let's get this bait out and let's see if we can get another bass. To be honest with you, I'm happy with the one I caught. It might not have been the biggest, but a fish is a fish, as they say. And any fish, when you're out on a session like this, is absolutely spot on. Now I'm just going to flick that out into the channel, not too far out. I like to give it a little drag back as it sinks, just to make sure that the lead is away from the hook. And that's all I'm doing. Well, it's 10 o'clock. And the weather was a bit wrong. It's starting to rain. And it's not a light drizzle either. It's getting heavier and heavier. But I've got no waterproofs at all, because the weather tonight said it was going to be completely dry. So hopefully it's just a passing shower. I've had no more bites, no more fish. We'll see where it goes from here. I've still got some crab left. I've just put another bait out. Tides, I say 10 o'clock, tides at 20 past 10, so it's dead now at the minute. I reckon there's no movement there whatsoever. And it's just going to be a case of maybe, unless it really starts torrentially raining, I'll probably give it another hour. If it keeps drizzling like this, it will slowly go through the clothes, so I will start getting wet. But yeah, like I say, give it another hour. Tide turns at 20 past 10, or it might even be turning like now sort of time, to be honest with you. And then we'll see if anything comes on the ebb. You never know. Might switch on. That first bass gave me a lot of hope, but maybe it's a little bit early. You know, maybe April time. I know there is bass in the Stour. I was hedging my bets on down here, but we still caught a fish. You know, so far we've had one fish, and to go out and catch a fish, that's what fishing's all about. It's not all about catching loads. It's the hunter-gatherer instinct within a human. At the end of the day, you know, naturally humans are hunter-gatherers. Years and years and years and years ago, nobody had jobs, you know. To survive, you had to go out and catch or kill whatever it was you were going to eat. So you go out, you get that fish, you get that little buzz, and it is just nice being out. You know, that's one of them things people say, oh, it was just nice being out, etc., etc. It is nice being out. but another fish would make the night. I'm going to keep plugging away. I'm going to fish through the high. Like I say, probably give it an hour over low. High, sorry, onto the ebb. And see what happens. You do never know. There might be another one come along. We'll keep plugging away. Like I say, there's a fresh bait out there now. I'll give that 25 minutes and then I'll bring it in and swap it over. And see if we can snatch another one as this tide turns and starts dropping off. Well, that ebb's in full swing now. It's as dead as a dodo. Literally nil pois at one fish early on in the session. And since then, the only indications I've had for bites have been swans swimming through my line. Of course, you get that 10-second or say split-second feeling of there's a fish there because it whacks over. Put your head torch on, and you see an Asbo swan swimming up the bloody river. But hey ho, is what it is. We keep persevering. We keep trying. Reel seats come loose. Just plug that back in. I don't think I'm going to stay that much longer, to be honest with you. It's getting on. Tide will drop off pretty quickly now. It always does here. It literally empties like a blooming bath. It just disappears. But I've got 2 halves of crab left. So I'm going to rebait this one up. And I'm going to keep trying. Because that's all we can do in times like this, is keep trying. At the end of the day, that next cast could produce a fish. It's that age-old adage of one last cast. But like I say, I don't want to be here too late tonight. It's obviously not as great as what I thought it was going to be. But we got out. It's been raining. Oh dear, what a night. Like I say, it's probably a little bit early. Well, warmer weather will produce a lot more bass here. I know that for a fact. But it's always worth a go. You never know unless you try. And you never know, we could have come down here and we could have bagged up. You know, we could have absolutely took the place apart. Bass after bass. Half decent one in the mix as well, which can happen here. But like I say, it didn't happen. Well, it hasn't happened yet anyway. Just got to tie that off on the bottom. Make sure that hook point's showing lovely. There we go. And we go again. I'm working this. I'm not casting the same place every time. I'm working this area that I'm fishing. I've gone to the left. I've gone right in front of me. I've gone to the right. I've gone over the far side, right near the stanchions. That was a bit of a fluff up, wasn't it? Bail arm didn't lock off. There we go. Bail arm's locked off now. Oh dear, crab slipped on the hook. Oh God. And there's me saying I've fished all my life. Something like that happens. Oh my word. Happens to the best of us. Little things like that. Didn't snap the rod, so it's all good. Just excuse me while I sort out this mistake I made. But yeah, like I say, you do never know. Oh God, my bait elastic's starting to blooming disappear as well. You do never know, right? Because that's just obviously slipped on the hook because of the shock of the bail arm coming off. Oh my word, it's all going to absolute pot. Put some more elastic round that. Make sure that's locked in place. There we go. Right, take 2, trying to cast it out. As I was saying, before I completely fluffed that up, I've been working the whole area. There's left, right, in front of me, I'm going to put that one out a little bit further. There we go. Drag it back as it falls through the water. A little bit deeper over there as well. See if there's anything over there. See if there's anything over there. You never know. Deeper water could hold them. I can't believe that bail arm snapped back. It happens. Like I say, it's one of them things. You just gotta reset yourself, regroup and cast out. But I've got one half of a crab left sitting down there, which I've already cut. So I'm gonna use this cast, do one more after this, and see if we can snatch at least one more fish. You never know, but I'm hedging my bets that we don't, because I haven't been getting any snappy bites. Normally here, if you get a lot of fish here, you get a lot of bites, you know, there's a lot of movement around in the water, around your rod tip. You know they're here, and I think there's just one or two that have crept up the river this far, so far in the year. And, you know, I've had one of them, and they're not really that prolific. Like I say, give it a couple of months or a month or so. Once it's warmer, there'll be more up here. But like I say, I'm going to leave this in. One last cast after this, and see if we can pull one more fish out. Well, sorry I didn't get the bite on Crammer. That rod tip absolutely slammed over, kept going, bam, bam, bam. And look at this. Beautiful fish. That is a very, very nice little estuary bass. Beautiful little schoolie. Absolutely fantastic. Happy with that. Took the crab, absolutely smashed it over. See if I can get him to put his fin up. There we go, look at that, hey? Lovely little scrap on the light gear as well. Like I say, so sorry I didn't get the bite. I've got one last half a crab to get out. So I'm going to put that out, see if we can get another one of these. Maybe the ebb is where it's at round here. You never know. That is a torpedo. That is a beautiful silver torpedo. They smashed that bait, that did. Absolutely smashed it. Right, there we go. Give him a little tickle, get his fin up. Beautiful. Beautiful fish from the estuary. Get him back. Let's get another crab out. And there you go. 2 bass. Happy days. I was hoping we might see one more, to be honest with you, and we have. But I'm now using my last half a crab. If the ebb is obviously where it's at, I know for next time, when I come, exactly, make sure that bail arm's sorted, get that bail arm sorted. I know for next time, when I come, when to come and fish it. The tide is absolutely emptying out now. It's going very, very quick. So like I say, make this my last cast. And I'm going to go home for a cup of tea and a slice of cake. Perfect though, eh? That last one was a nice fish, wasn't it? Like I say, not massive. You do get them in here. You do get them like 6-7 pound in here. But for an early season fish, I'm happy with those 2 so far. Like I say, this is the last cast. I have got crab left, but I'm going to call it a night. It's not been as prolific as what I thought. The ebb could be, well, I'll say it's not prolific. If I get one on this cast and it's a half decent fish, I might end up staying and using my crab on the ebb. But we'll see. I'm going to leave this to soak for half an hour. I'll come back to you. There's rats everywhere. As I was going down to get that fish from the water, there was bloody rats scurrying everywhere, which is lovely, as you can imagine. But yeah, right, bait's out. Rod set. Last cast. Let's see if we can get one more bass on this last cast and see if the ebb really is where it's at here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the last cast. I'm now about to reel it in. I had a hell of a smackdown bite on it a little while ago, but it didn't materialise into anything. Bass, when they normally hit a bait, they'll come in, they'll smack it once, and then they normally come back and take it again. So I reckon he hit it and then just swam off. But there you go, is what it is. 2 fish. I ain't complaining about that this early in the bass season. Not bad at all. There's nothing there. The water is absolutely emptied out. It is completely empty, and like I say, like someone's pulled the plug out down here. Absolutely crazy. Let me just try and get this back over all the rocks and stuff. Lovely. And that was the last cast. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share, subscribe as usual. Helps the channel grow. 2 bass, like I say, not massive, but estuary bass fishing session, early April. I'm happy with that. Thank you very much for watching. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you by the water very soon.